Welcome into another live edition of Tap and Eagle here on the Cousins Conversations YouTube channel. We have all the countries in North America here covered. Fernando in Mexico, Chris McKee in Canada, and I'm in the United States. Chris hosts a national golf show in Canada called This Week in Golf. And if you watch my Cousins Conversations podcast, he was also a guest on there. Background in the music industry. Now he's in sports radio and news radio in Canada. So it's great to have him here. Chris, just go into a little bit about your show. And you also, broadcasted live for a little bit there too.
Yeah, well, this is like the Kuzma of golf shows here right
Yes.
now, the Canada, U.S., Mexico agreement. But yeah, no, my show, This Week in Golf, I'm on 3 radio stations across Canada. I'm on in the Toronto area on Saga 960. I'm on in Kamloops, BC on Radio NL 610 Kamloops. And I'm on in Kelowna, BC on AM 1150 out there. And, Kamloops in Kelowna, it's in the Okanagan Valley, which is regarded as like the Mecca of golf in Canada. It's some of the most beautiful golf courses anywhere in the world in that neck of the woods. So golf huge there. So that's why I'm kind of on 2 stations there. And then, was down in Detroit on Saturday for the Rocket Mortgage Classic live in person at the Detroit Golf Club. It was a lot of fun.
And you also have a little bit of background in music as well, if you want to just quickly touch on that as well.
Yeah, I was a music agent for 20 years. I represented some of the biggest rappers and R&B singers and DJs in the world. Most notably, people always freak out when I tell them I represented most of the Wu-Tang Clan for about 12 years. I've produced Canadian tours for the Black Eyed Peas, Rihanna, Akon, 50 Cent, The Roots. I've produced international concerts for like Norah Jones and a bunch of other, well-known EDM DJs. I don't know how well your audience is tuned into EDM, but I represented. Yeah, a lot of big DJs as well. And so I used to be somebody, now not so much anymore.
Yeah. we still love you here talking about the golf.
Yeah.
But for now, you got anything for Chris? I know because you're a music guy too. So
Yeah, I'm in a band, obviously, just getting started, but nothing like Chris' clients. I mean, I love country music. I usually sing more like rock music, mostly in English. But man, one day when I'm big, I know who to call.
Well, have you sold your soul to the devil yet? That's the first question I always ask the people. Because that's what
I
it
mean,
takes to get ahead in that business. So
I don't believe in the devil, man,
yeah.
but I don't mind having money. That's what you mean.
No doubt, yeah.
all right, let's get into it. So Chris, like you said, he was down in Detroit for the final Rocket Classic on the PGA Tour, RIP. And we saw a first-time winner, Michael Thorbjornsen, and we had been waiting for this to happen. One of the young phenoms in the game, just 24 years old, was in contention a lot this year and just couldn't finish on Sunday. But here he goes with a 30 on the back nine to get things done and shoot a 63 there, Chris.
Yeah, he was never really in contention all weekend long. It looked like it was going to be Davis Riley's tournament. I thought Xander Schauffele was going to have it. I watched him quite a bit on Saturday when I was there and played outstanding, but his putter was letting him down. And I'm like, well, if you can correct that for Sunday, this is his tournament to win. And I was kind of keeping an eye on the leaderboard all day long. You're like, it's got to be Xander. It's got to be Xander. And then out of nowhere on the back nine, Thorbjornsen just comes out of nowhere, just caught lightning in a bottle, red hot. Being on site, the golf course, Detroit Golf Club, the greens, very difficult. The pin placement on Saturday and Sunday, really challenging. And they're kind of rolling, meandering greens. It was difficult to putt there. So, and that's why Davis Riley I think he made it something like about 150 feet worth of putts on Saturday. And so if you can do that there, you got something going on. But as far as the course itself, it was pretty wide open. The fescue really thick, almost British Open-esque off in the rough. So if you hit it straight, you're fine. But if you were a little adventurous and all over the place, that's where you can get in trouble. But I think, Thorbjornsen just kept things simple, caught lightning in a bottle on that back nine, and good to see him get that win because he's a good kid, good player.
Yeah, I mean, he won everything as an amateur. I was watching one of his wins when he was young, and he was like breaking course records at 14. And finally, to earn his win after being on the number one on the PGA Tour U, it's really amazing. I actually saw that the course wasn't playing that easy on Sunday. Everybody was making bogey on 18. So the fact that he birdied 18 was, I think, the difference there. And as you said, Xander looked really motivated by Jackson Scoiben's win last week. And I mean, I didn't think he was having a great year, but now I'm looking at the FedEx Cup standings, and he's sitting like at 11. So he's sneaky good, always there, and excited to see Davis Riley play well again. Obviously, Michael Brennan for me had it in the bag, but then that tee shot out of bounds really derailed him, and he ended up like I think like even top 15 or something. It was a bit sad there.
Yeah, Michael Thorbjornsen goes now into 38th in the FedEx Cup, so he's getting close there to being eligible or qualifying for the Tour Championship. And also, Chris, with his little music background, he had a little viral story go out that I saw pop up on my X feed, I guess we want to call it, or Twitter, that Davis Riley loves Eminem, and he was trying to listen to Eminem, who is from Detroit, where the tournament was, to try to get him hyped up there for the final round.
Yeah, I asked him after the run because he was in the lead. 'Cause I had a whole bunch of questions asked about Eminem and his song lyrics and Motown records. I really wanted to ask, but they didn't bring that many guys through the media tent. So I figured, at the time, Davis Riley was leading. I'm like, this guy's in a good mood. He'll answer any questions. And so I asked him, I was going to ask him if he could give me the opening line of Eminem's Lose Yourself. You know, the palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. But I was looking, I'm like, there's no way this guy's going to know it. So I just asked, I said, hey, now that we're in the city of Detroit, do any of Eminem's song lyrics make a bit more sense now that you're here? And he went like, oh, yeah, 7 Mile. And I was like, no, dude, 8 Mile. And he was like, oh, yeah, 8 Mile, 8 Mile. And then he went on to say, yeah, he's like, love Eminem. I might bump some of his music on the way to the course Sunday morning to get me pumped up. But I saw most of the Yahoo Sports, the Detroit News just covered the fact that he said he loved Eminem. But the Daily Mirror in the U.S. wrote an article about, they said Davis Riley's Eminem gaffe, because he didn't know that writer was like, hey, this guy doesn't know 8 Mile for God's sakes. And so he got a little bit dragged. That wasn't my intention. I was just trying to get something of a little bit more of an interesting clip. But yeah, I wanted to ask them about, the Four Tops and the Temptations and Smokey Robinson and things like that. See if any of them could name a Motown artist. But again, they didn't bring that many guys through the media tent. It was a little disappointing. And so I had my opportunity with Davis Riley, and I took advantage of it and asked him, and then went viral. So
yeah, even in Mexico we know that song.
Yeah,
I know most of the lyrics.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I was watching an interview with Anthony McKee that said that he was mad at Eminem because he talked about behind the scenes with him about how he went to private school and whatever. And then Eminem actually used it against him in the movie, and he's like, that's not part of my character. He's talking about me.
Yeah, in the battle rap.
Yeah,
I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school. Yeah. So I could go almost line for line the entire rap battle scenes in Eminem. The 8 Mile movie, I could do that. So here's a fun fact. I represented just about every single artist on Shady Records other than Eminem. So I was Obi Trice's agent for both Canada and the United States. D12, Eminem's group, I represented, not with Eminem in it, but they would tour without him. And I produced a number of concert dates for those guys. And then a couple other of the lesser. Bobby Creekwater was a guy that was on Shady Records for a brief bit. I was booking him and stuff. But yeah, the Obi Trice people seem to
think. Cole was part of that or not?
Who was it? J. Cole?
No, I'm asking. I don't know.
No. He wasn't a part of Shady Records. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then also I work with Royce the 5'9" for about 12, 13 years, who's another Detroit artist. Royce, I believe Royce wrote some of the battle raps for the guys in 8 Mile. I think he helped out with some of the lyrics for some, because Royce is a well-known battle.
The most recent rap movie, it was really good as well.
Which one?
It was produced by Eminem, but he's not part of it. He's like another white guy rapping.
No, I didn't see it, no. I mean, I've seen 8 Mile 100 times.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Everybody in the 3-1-3, put your
Yeah. Well, we were speaking about, because you know what's funny, there was some, we were watching the Rocket Classic in the media tent, and something about 3-1. Hey, and everyone in the 313 area code, and I started doing that, and everyone just looked at me blank. Like, even Haley from the Golf Channel was in there. I'm like, you don't know that? Everybody from the 313, and she was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. So that joke didn't hit in the media tent.
Come on, Detroit people, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's your guy out here, you know? But anyway,
these people, most of them aren't from Detroit, so they didn't really.
Yeah, we can change that. But anyway, so Xander Schauffele had his best finish in a while. I mean, in 2024, we're talking about him winning 2 majors, and the last time he won was in the PGA Tour Fall Series, and he finishes solo second here. So How close do we see Xander's game to maybe winning something? Maybe it's in the playoffs coming up here.
I think he wins within the next 3 weeks. I was surprised he didn't get it done this week. At the start of the week, I posted a clip on my Twitter where Xander talks about how, he doesn't think he's playing well, how he's almost chasing the ghost of 2024. That's what he measures himself as. And so he kind of almost views himself as a failure because he hasn't won 2 majors this year like he did in 2024. And that's a tough sort of way of viewing your career, and especially in golf. And so it looked like he might have kind of got past that. Like I said, I mean, had his putter been even average on Saturday, it's his tournament to win. He probably would have been at least tied for the lead, maybe in a much better position. But he missed a few short putts coming down the stretch on Saturday, and that really kind of dug him a little bit of a hole on Sunday, and he came out of it. But I just think I think he's this close. I mean, if I was a betting man, which I'm not really, but I think at some point in the next 3 to 4 weeks, Xander Schauffele will win on the PGA Tour, no doubt about it.
And he's trying to make the President's Cup team too, because he's outside the top the automatic qualifiers, and so he'd have to be a captain's pick. But if he wins, then you're talking about him for sure on the team.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. But I also think, regardless, I mean, how you leave Xander out, especially the form he's in right now, we're also having a conversation of Scottie Scheffler being the player of the year because of all his second place finishes. So I don't think second place this year isn't viewed quite as negatively maybe as in years past, where they want to see titles, because everyone, even including the world's best, has been, just this close quite a few times. And Xander certainly fits that bill as well.
That's why we love that LIV has a podium.
Yeah.
And actually, Xander's best part of the game is his putting. So if the other parts of his game are working, he should win anytime soon. And especially, like the next course is, for example, the Wyndham Championship. I don't think he's playing, but I think they suit more of his game. Like, you don't need to be like so long, and maybe there's like not much like a wind factor. But I think for example, if you take the playoffs, the stakes are higher, and if he plays better at the majors, then he should play better at the playoffs.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think, Memphis would be a good spot where I'd look at Xander, because Rory won't be there. He's already said he's probably going to skip it. Yeah. And so, it's like there's 1 or 2 guys in the field that you might say are class above Xander, but take away a guy like Rory, Scottie not at his best. So I would think Memphis, the FedEx St. Jude, could be the something on the calendar to mark for Xander to get his W.
There we go. Watch out for a Xander win here in the next couple of weeks. And we know Chris is also locked in on LIV as well. He's planning to go down to the team event in Michigan, but there's been reports that that's canceled, that there's maybe funding that actually is going to happen for the tour, $250 million I saw from a New York investment firm. And then today we hear that there's now supposedly that much money owed to players like Jon Rahm out there on LIV Golf. So what do we make of all this, Chris? And what's the latest that you're hearing about just LIV going forward and the team competition happening?
Well, we'll start with the team competition. I called the Cardinal at St. John today, the course in Plymouth, Michigan, where they had it last year. And I've got my LIV Michigan T-shirt on from last year when I was down there at the represent today. But I was really looking forward to it. I asked them, I said, have you started the course build out? And they said, no. And I said, well, do you know, have you been given any word? He said, we know what you know online. And the quote I got was, your guess is as good as ours. So even the people at the Cardinal at St. John they're a little out in the dark as to what's happening. But Scott O'Neill, LIV CEO, is giving a press conference tomorrow at LIV New York, and they're out in New Jersey. It should be, because it's at Trump Edminster in New Jersey. But he's giving a press conference tomorrow at 10 a.m. to give an update on the state of LIV Golf. The reports we're hearing, obviously the New York Post reported in the past week that LIV Golf has secured at least $250 million to keep moving forward next year. Now, they also put out an email, according to Flushing at Golf, that a lot of the employees have been told they're going to be terminated come September, that, they're going to be fired. Now, all of that kind of normal. Now, there was also another report I saw that in that same email where the employees told they're going to be fired, that they said there's a good chance you're going to get rehired again. But they're all on contract anyways. And so anytime, the business is going to change hands like that, LIV Golf is going to file for bankruptcy, because the new investors don't want to take on their debt of $3 billion, whatever the hell it is. So you file for bankruptcy. and then it's only kind of a fraction of the debt that they take on. And so that's completely normal when you hear LIV's going to file for bankruptcy. John Rahm reportedly their biggest creditor. Rahm supposedly, is owed huge amounts of money. I don't have an exact amount yet, but what I'm hearing. And so it looks positive. All the players today, I sat and watched the press conference today with all the Aussie, the Ripper GC, with Cam Smith and Lucas Herbert, Mark Leishman, and they were all very positive about the future of LIV Golf and wanting to stay. And not, they asked Cam Smith and Leishman and that, hey, have you even looked at going back to the PGA Tour? And they're like, no. We have faith that LIV's going to be here in 2027. And so, and same thing last week at LIV UK with John Rahm. John Rahm's a guy, again, the guy's owed huge amounts of money. He was never shy about giving his opinion when he was on the PGA Tour that I don't like this, I don't like that. But he's even been very positive about the future of LIV. He said, I'm optimistic. And so, and here's a guy that doesn't have to be. When you're owed a lot of money, he could be out there trashing this league, going, hey, this is garbage. I don't want to be here anymore. I want my money and I'm out. But he's not doing that, which says I think it bodes well for the future of LIV. And, will John Rahm stay? I don't know. But it looks like the Aussie guys are certainly going to stay. Cam Smith and Herbert and Leishman, and there's still going to be some name value. All the British guys, I mean, granted they're older, the Ian Poulters and Lee Westwood, and have all said, no, we want to stay. And so, will some of they're going to lose some guys, right? There's no doubt next season, but I also think they're still going to have a core of players that will make it interesting and watchable for whatever version of LIV 2.0 we're going to see, excuse me.
Yeah, like the question is like, why did they leave? Like back in the day, Seve Ballesteros and Greg Norman wanted to do like this sort of thing because they didn't agree with the tours. Like they thought they were holding back money, and they did. And that's why the PGA Tour started like the private equity thing, where the PGA players have now stake in the company or whatever. And maybe the LIV 2.0 can do the same with these players, like give them equity in the company so they can stay. But maybe, like you said, like Rahm doesn't want to go back because he doesn't like the way the PGA runs things, I guess. And at this point, I don't think it's about the money because he already has a lot of money. But most of these players already have money enough for the two more generations. But maybe they want the opportunity to grow the game in a different way, like having events in Australia or other parts of the world where the PGA Tour doesn't go for some reason. And like Royal Melbourne is one of the best courses in the world, like having tournaments over there. But I think the fact that the Saudis are not there shouldn't be like an automatic just like take leave of the world stage. Should stay.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, I have faith that in 2028, I don't know, but in 2027. I feel very strongly that we will see some form of LIV Golf in the next year.
Do you think like Bryson maybe put some money into it? Because I know like he's in meetings maybe to kind of get investors. I know Rahm suggested about the same thing too, maybe putting some money in. But if he's already owed that much money, maybe he won't. So what do you think about that?
I don't, look, I don't want to spend someone else's money, right? So I don't know who's going to put money. Now, I know Bryson's been active in recruiting investors. John Rahm hasn't. Ian Poulter and Lee Westwood admitted last week they too have done that. And so you got to think a lot of these guys, they know rich guys, and I think it's, especially guys like Poulter and Westwood that have been in the game for 30 years. They've met a lot of very wealthy people in their time, especially all throughout Europe. And guys that are probably going to chip in 20 million, 50 million, whatever. I don't think it's going to be one company that's going to give them the whole 250 million. But I think there's probably going to be a team of investors and the influence of those golfers. And again, if you're kind of, a mediocre golf fan and Scott O'Neill rolls into a meeting with Bryson DeChambeau sitting next to him going, hey, I'm committed. If you give us this money, I'm going to be here. And Bryson's done that. And so that's why I don't think they necessarily need to put their own money in. They've given their almost word and them as an asset. Like, I will be here. That's why you're investing, because people want to watch me. And so I'd be very surprised to hear any LIV players scratching their own checks, but they've given their time and energy and acted as recruiters to bring money in, which I think is just as good.
But maybe 250 million is not enough. Like, if the Saudis allegedly spent $5 billion in the last few years with LIV, then 250 shouldn't even be enough for one more year. But I mean, like you said, there should be more people interested in this. Like just with the TV rights, I think they're probably gonna get more with this.
Yeah, well, obviously things are going to be scaled back. Now, what I'm hearing is a 10-event schedule. I don't think they'll be as lavish. Like, I don't think we'll see DJ Tiesto playing the after parties, six-figure DJs. Or when I was in Michigan last year, I watched Imagine Dragons after the golf, and it was a great show. But they're getting 6-7 figures, these bands. I think things like that you'll see chopped. You don't necessarily need to bring in they just had Chase and Status, the big British DJs after LIV. I think things like that, some of the decadence surrounding LIV Golf will go. And I think that it'll just be a bit more of a basic golf event like what we saw this weekend in Detroit. There was no flashy big bands performing after. It's just a golf tournament. And I think with $250 million, if you did 10 of those, a little bit more golf focused as opposed to entertainment focused, it's more than reasonable to keep things afloat. And obviously, we'll see a reduction in purses. I doubt we'll see the $4 million weekly purses. It may get back to something a bit more reasonable, $2.5 million a week. And so it'll be slightly less, just not as much decadence, I would say.
Totally.
Yeah, it kind of takes away from the LIV brand a little bit to, get rid of the concerts and the music and all the extra things that come with it. But we'll see what happens here. Only a couple events left in LIV. But, Chris, we appreciate all your insight. We know you're locked in on all these things here with LIV. But quickly before you go, just tell people where they can follow you, because you are a good follow, because I see all the press conferences from you on your social media, and it kind of gives us some talking points for this podcast as well. So just wanted to tell you that.
Every golf journalist in America looks at my timeline and then writes their stories, even the ones that don't follow me, because I see them all bookmarking my tweets and stuff. But I'm on Twitter, X at Mr. McKee. YouTube, I post some of it as well. Just, type in Chris McKee Golf. You can find me on there. And then my radio show, obviously, mentioned all across Canada, but also available on podcast, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and all that good stuff. You can track it down on there as well. So
make sure you follow Chris. Get all your golf press conference needs from Chris's social media. Chris, we appreciate you coming on.
Nick, Fernando, appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
You have a great voice, man. Congratulations, and long live rap music.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I like to freestyle a lot, so maybe one day I can come on your show and we can do some freestyle.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. A few drinks before we do that, though.
All right. I don't mind that.
Deal. Take it easy.
Thank you. You too.
How about that, Fernando? Great stuff from Chris.
Man, he's a legend in the music industry as well. Wow.
Yeah, who would have known, right? A guy doing sports radio in Canada used to manage Cash Rules Everything Around Me. The Wu-Tang Clan,
Looks like he went from the top of the world to the white collar, I don't know, like boring life. But golf can also be home for everybody. Even LeBron James plays golf.
Yeah. At 39, he was switched over to the sports industry after being in the music industry. And a little plug, he was on my interview series, Cousins Conversation. So if you liked Chris's appearance there, make sure you go check that out here on the channel as well. But I had the awesome privilege, like I did last week, to cover Korn Ferry Tour. This week, I was out at the Western Amateur out at Beverly Country Club, south side of Chicago. And man, remember this name, Fernando, Jay Lang. Okay, he's 33rd ranked amateur in the world, goes to Stanford right now. So two Stanford guys, Thorbjornsen and Jay Lang, winning this weekend. And it was an awesome win. I mean, he had to take down Miles Russell, the 17-year-old phenom, in the semifinals, which he had already beat him in match play. They played each other at the U.S. Junior match play, and he won that over Miles Russell. And they're also pretty good friends as well, because they were on the U.S. Junior Ryder Cup team together. But we'll get into Miles Russell right here after we talk a little bit about Jay. But I would watch out for Jay. I mean, he's got his one more year left at Stanford, but a lot of these Western Amateur winners, like Thorbjornsen, and a lot of these other guys who they're out on the Korn Ferry right now. So I would watch out for Jay Lang's name out there as someone in the next few years that will maybe be on the top of leaderboards, or somebody that we saw last week, like a Tommy Morrison, somebody like that who is just tearing it up on the Korn Ferry Tour.
Wow, man, to beat the favorite and to have beaten him again it was not a surprise. It was not like out of nowhere. Like you said, Stanford always providing great athletes like Aline Wu and
Tiger.
Thorbjornsen and Tiger Woods and Patrick Rogers, and they also have great academics. So I don't know if they're just putting them A's on everything, and maybe they're not even showing up to class if they have time to practice and get this good. But
Yeah.
I mean, Jay Lang sounds like a smart kid.
Yeah,
Just
he
because
is. He
South
is.
Asian. But I mean, did you follow his whole match against Miles?
I did. I followed that whole match. It was awesome. And Jay was leading the whole time too. Like he was 1 up, 2 up, then Miles would come back and tie some holes. But Jay just put the hammer down, and there was some crazy answers from him too. Like there's hundreds of people out there following Miles Russell. Like you saw my video that I did where
Yeah,
I'm just going like this with my phone and just all the people
crazy.
following Miles Russell. And I actually ran into Jay's dad on the course, and I was like, "Does Jay care about any of these? Like that there's hundreds of people following?" And he's like, "No, he doesn't give a shit. Like he just wants to come out here and play golf. Like that's just how his son is." And you kind of saw that mentality because Miles, it looked like he was coming back. He'd get it down to one down. He'd make some long 20-foot putts, but then Jay would hit another. He would answer with like a 30-foot putt. It was just crazy. Like, this is why we need match play, Fernando. We need some fucking
We
match play,
need
dude.
it, and it's coming now with the Tour Championship finally.
Yeah, yeah.
The,
But it
the
was. I mean, it's an impressive to win. This is impressive because you have 3 days of stroke play. The first 2 days are 18 holes. Then it cuts down to 44 from 144. And then the last day of stroke play is 36 holes. So you're playing 2 rounds in one day. Then the final 16 is match play, and you're playing 2 matches in one day. Then the semifinals and the final are on the same day. So it's a lot of golf. So if you win this, impressive performance. You have to get a lot of
yeah, it's
respect.
like the Mexican mid amateur is the same that I played, and that's where I met Eduardo Del Best, the guy who played there at the Western Amateur.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, he told me that he didn't make it through the match play. But what was the victory of Jay Lang against Miles, like on the 17th hole or something?
He won, yeah, he won 2 up on 17. And then in the
Wow.
final, he just dominated. He won on the 14th hole. He won 5-4 over Vanderbilt's Michael Reby. And it's cool because he knows Reby. They're both from San Diego, and they play a lot of golf together in the off season. Like a lot of these players out here like knew each other either from like Ryder Cup teams or playing with each other in the juniors. So they're all friends. And there was in the match play specifically, there was even teammates going up against each other. Jay beat another Max Grazerman's brother from Stanford, who was his teammate. And then you
Ches
had two.
Reavy? It has to do with this guy, Reavy?
Yeah, Reby. Yeah, he was in the final. He goes to Vanderbilt,
But
but
there's a
he
PGA Tour player called Ches Reavy. Maybe he's his younger.
Reby, not Revy. Reby.
Uh,
But
Man,
still
I'm
very impressive.
Mexican. I cannot hear the difference of that.
Yeah, well, we talk kind of fast here in Chicago. We're kind of known for that,
Reeby,
Fernando. But
not Reeby.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, but they were friends from San Diego, and they actually played a lot of golf together in the off season. They put a little friendly wager on their match play, and Reby actually beat him last week. But then Jay was like, "Nah, I'm gonna beat you this time and beat you bad 5-4." But it was interesting, like the match play. Like I said, like Jay's playing his teammate from Stanford, who was Max Gracerman's younger brother, and then you had him, and then you had two Auburn guys who were Jackson Coivin's teammates, Josiah Gilbert and Logan Riley, going against each other in match play. So teammates going up against each other, friends, and so yeah, it was a fun event to cover and be out there. A lot of golf, a lot of early mornings starting at 7, 8 a.m. So I was a little sleep deprived, but I made up for it the last 2 days. But the major impression was Miles Russell. I mean, he is the real deal, 17 years old, and I'm sitting there. I'm just trying to see people's reactions to like the shots that he's doing. He had these two incredible bunker shots, one in the quarterfinals to beat Tyler Watts, who's another great junior golfer out there, and they were teammates on the. They even said that they'll be teammates coming up here at the Walker Cup, and they were treating that match like if they were partners for the Walker Cup in Ireland coming up here later in the month. So it was kind of cool to see like a little preview of that. And Tyler Watts hits the ball far, but with Miles Russell, out of just around the greens, he's insane. Like some of these bunker shots, like he stuck one like right from a greenside bunker to like 3 feet, and everybody in the crowd's like, "This guy, how is this real? Like this dude is just not real at all. Like is he a machine like robot? Like people were
And he's
talking
so
about."
lefty too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it reminds me a little bit of like Lydia Core or Lexi Thompson when they first came out. They were winning majors like at 14, and obviously Miles could be pro already, but the fact that amateurs can now get paid makes him, available for these tournaments. And I'm so happy. I mean, he's living the dream. Like one day he's playing the Western Am and the Walker Cup, and the next day he's playing the U.S. Open. He just has the best of both worlds, and he's not even in college yet. And why would he even go to college?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I told you that. I was like, okay, he has one more year of high school left. He's probably going to play in all these amateur tournaments again next summer. And especially if he wins those before he even goes to college. I mean, Florida State, you got to give this guy millions and millions to even stay there, because he should just be like Blades Brown and go pro, because I mean, in 5-10 years, it's going to be like Blades, Miles
I mean,
Russell, Tommy
you
Morrison
see
winning these majors.
the
Yeah.
cross he's pulling, being an amateur, like
Yeah.
he's a needle mover.
And he has the attitude, because I'm trying to like break him a little bit in the interviews, get him to show some personality, but he just wouldn't break. He's just so focused out there. I was asking him about his dad in the U.S. Open carrying his bag, because his dad was there following him around the entire time, and talking about Tyler Watts and their Walker Cup pairing potential, and he just wouldn't break. He was just focused on every shot and wanting to win the tournament. So he's already got the mentality.
Man, I'm so excited for the next few years with Jackson. They're gonna go toe to toe in the majors.
Oh, the future of golf is bright, like we talked about last week, when we can add Miles Russell onto names to watch. And speaking of the Korn Ferry Tour, I was texting you about this because this was a fun watch. When was the last time you saw a 5 golfer playoff? It was almost 6 too, because our guy Blades Brown, he just had to make a par on 18 to get into a 6 golfer playoff on the Korn Ferry Tour at the Utah Championship, but he bogeyed 18, and he made an incredible run. He was like 5-6 shots back going to the back 9 and just went crazy. But we had that, and Tommy Morrison was in there as well. And I'm thinking Tommy Morrison's going to win again and go back to back, because all the other guys were hitting driver and they didn't even make it within like 150 yards of the hole. And Tommy Morrison hits a 3-wood and he's only 110 from the green. I mean, this dude is just like insane with his long game out there. And he had a 5-foot putt, and every other guy was outside of like 10 feet to keep the playoff going, and he missed the 5-footer and he finished second. But then you had a first-time Korn Ferry Tour winner, so a nice story as well with Derek Hitchner, and he was like outside the top 100 coming in, so he was like nobody really knew what he was going to do or if he was going to advance. But now he moves up like 70 spots, so now he's kind of in that discussion to get onto the PGA Tour next year. But Tommy Morrison, man, I mean, he's already solidified his spot, really. I mean, he's inside the top 10. Blades is inside the top 10. These are guys that we're seeing on the PGA Tour next year.
Like, these guys are so confident. Like, Blades, with that back 9 search, and a little bit sad that he bogeyed 18, but Tommy made that playoff, and he had it in the bag. Man, what a player. I think he's had like 5 straight top 10s.
So he went 10, 5th, 2nd, 1st last week, and then 2nd again this week.
That's Scotty's numbers, man.
Yeah. Well, he did go to Texas, so.
Tommy Morrison.
Yeah.
He's the next Scotty Scheffler for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, what a phenom that we have in our hands now, and obviously very happy for Derek. I saw that he he said that he's been putting in the time and the work, and just the results were not coming, but he just kept at it, and the fact that it happened, it was kind of unbelievable to him, but obviously not for the rest of us if he's playing all day and practicing and doing the right things and trusting the process. And I guess I gotta learn a little bit from Derek and just keep going.
Yeah, yeah. Never lose faith. And we're going to be talking more about Korn Ferry. I mean, the Korn Ferry is exciting. A lot of great young players out there on the Korn Ferry. After I went last week, I'm locked in. I'm hooked in. So we'll be talking more about the Korn Ferry. They're in Omaha this week. So we'll see if Tommy Morrison maybe he wins again. But Blades is at the Wyndham this week. So, but we'll get to more Blades later. But as we know, last regular season event this week with the Wyndham Championship, and we are on Bubble Watch here for the top 70 of the FedEx Cup standings. And right now, we have Jackson Koiven with his win at the 3M Championship right in that last spot at 70. Then you look on the outside of 70. Brooks Koepka, 86. He needs a top 4 finish to even make it into the top 70. So kind of a long shot for Brooks. He withdrew last week, so that kind of didn't help his case. Then you have Keegan Bradley right there at 72 and Jason Day at 75. So who are some of the names that you're watching here, Fernando? And what about these three? Do you think that they can make it in and Jackson Koiven keep his spot at 70?
Man, it's crazy. I mean, Jackson Koiven has played amazing, and the fact that he's just barely in the bubble says a lot that how tough the competition is. But obviously, a few years ago, the bubble was at 125, and now the last year it was at 100. So now, obviously, top 70 is a tough shell to crack. But I mean, really excited because if Jackson makes it to the Tour Championship, he could even win with the momentum that he's carrying and the match play experience that he has. Obviously, Koepka needs a great week. I wouldn't put it past him, but obviously he needs to stay healthy. And Keegan Bradley, I'm surprised that he's not higher up there because I thought he was having a better year. Like I said with Xander, like these FedEx Cup standings are a little bit deceiving. And Jason Day, the Abora Irons player, he's one of the nicest guys out there. I hope he has a better year, a better nice finish. I was talking about Johnny Kiefer, who last year was the #1 player in the Korn Ferry Tour. He was playing well last week, so I think he should be making it inside the bubble. Obviously, my guy Aldrich Potgieter, I mean, he missed the cut this week, but maybe Ricky Castillo, who has played well at the beginning of the year, but a little bit of a stall recently. And Steven Fisk, he almost won a few weeks ago. I think
Two-time winner, yeah, two-time winner. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Johnny Kiefer moves inside, and maybe that will leave. I don't wanna say who leaves, but I think Johnny Kiefer moves inside the bubble.
He's been playing well as of late. We saw him get into the Open Championship because he finished top 3 at the Scottish. So
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh man, I suddenly stopped hearing you.
Oh,
Maybe
well.
if you take the page out of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, there we go.
If you stop sharing the screen.
Does that work now? You can hear me now?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wanted to try that new technology, but maybe it didn't work. But I thought I was cool because I figured out how to share my screen. I thought I was cool, but I guess it doesn't work.
Chris is gonna be proud of you producing.
That's all right. But anyway, okay. So you were saying Johnny Kiefer, you think moves in? Koepka, it would be hard for him to get in. Bradley, maybe? You think Bradley gets in there?
I mean, he's so consistent, such a great ball striker. Yeah, why not?
Okay, there we go. All right, well, like we said, Wyndham Championship this week, 88th year of the event on the PGA Tour. This is one of the longer tour stops, and we always, for the last couple decades, it's been always the last regular season event. So besides the Bubble Watch, Fernando, what do you like about this tournament? What are you expecting going in at Sedgefield?
Yeah, I think one of the best parts of any golf tournament is to see who's going to make the cut. and like that Friday afternoon kind of pressure. And this week is also very much the same but magnified and more important because if you finish in the top 70, that's like a huge amount of difference in terms of money and in terms of schedule, especially now that they have like the PGA Tour A and PGA Tour B kind of thing. If you finish in the top 70, guarantees you starts at the signature events or whatever, even the majors. So it's going to be very interesting to watch this unfold.
One of the more exciting tournaments that we'll have right here before the playoffs, who will get in the top 70. And then we also have LIV back this week. We talked about a little bit on top of the show about the future of the tour, but we know that we still have the rest of this season, so we're excited to still be talking about it. This week, they come back to the United States. They're playing Trump Bedminster in New Jersey, even though it's LIV Golf New York. But the big storyline this week, Fernando, is who will win the individual championship, Jon Rahm or Bryson DeChambeau. And Jon Rahm is over 200 points clear. So in order for Bryson to keep this race alive going into the last event of the year, he needs a third place finish or better, or Rahm wins this thing.
Man, again, the battle of the Titans, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to cherish this like it's the last day of my life. Because you don't know where is this going to happen again. Maybe never. We're going to have this like kind of field and kind of coverage and like no ads. You can watch it anywhere, and it's just so much fun. But I mean, I guess we'll just have to entertain it this week and hope for the best for the future. But man, this is really the definition of like just enjoy the moment, enjoy the present, because we're in for one of the best weeks of the year. I think
That's a cop out.
I'm going with Bryson because Ram obviously has played better in general, but Bryson, after what happened at the Open, I think it's going to be a redemption week for him.
Okay, yeah, see, I thought you were going to make a pick, so I was going to be like, come on, give me an answer.
Bryson.
All right, yeah. Let's go with Bryson because, yes, if this is somehow the last LIV golf season, I'd love for everybody's favorite LIV villain, Bryson DeChambeau, to win LIV Golf's individual title.
Let's go, Bryson. Get some investments.
I know. So we'll be excited for that, and it'll be on normal times. Don't have to be up in the middle of the night like we were for Australia to watch Anthony Kim win. I think that was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I was watching that. I don't have to get up early to watch when they're in England or, middle of the night, 3 a.m. when they're in Asia. It is on North America's time zone, so we can be locked in, and I can have double screen action going with LIV and PGA Tour. So it'll be an exciting weekend ahead. Excited to see some LIV Golf New York. And my favorite golf reporter, Rachel Drummond. She's very fun.
And Henny too.
And Henny too,
and
yeah.
David's favorite team.
She just got married though, unfortunately, Fernando. So.
Oh man, that's all right. That's one lucky guy right there.
Yes, for sure. Now let's look at the betting favorites like we do every week. And everyone's in Vegas is predicting that Jon Rahm will get this thing done at plus 500 with Bryson plus 600 and Terrell Hatton plus 700. And this was the favorites for the last LIV Golf event in the UK. And it was surprising because I never saw Jon Rahm even near the leaderboard this last event on LIV.
Yeah, but that's Jon Rahm. Like, if he doesn't finish the top 10, it looks like he was sick or something.
Was he even there? I don't know.
Well, yeah, totally. Yeah, he played horrible. He shot like 12 under.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. He'll try to get done this weekend and be the.
I mean, Hatton finished second last week.
Yeah, and Bryson was battling with Herbert too for the first 3 days. So,
great
yeah.
picks again.
Yeah, I don't know how Lucas Herbert's not one of the favorites because that was
Lucas
30
Herbert
under.
should be
30
the
under.
favorite.
Yeah, 30 under was crazy, and he's won already twice, and he won on the last Trump course they played on LIV too. So he
Man,
liked
Lucas Herbert had one of the best performances of all time.
I know. and like we said, if this is the last couple live events, unless somebody shoots 30 under, Lucas Herbert will have the live golf record too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably he's gonna beat his own record, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes. We'll see, because you know why though? Because I'm picking him this week to win again. I think we're gonna see a 3 wins from Lucas Herbert, and I think John Rahm, based off how he finished the last event he played, I think he has a good chance to win, even though he is the betting favorite. Just with the way he's been playing, not so well, even in the majors that we saw, like the Open, he didn't play very well at the end. The U.S. Open, he didn't play very well on the weekend after he just barely made the cut. And Cam Smith, whose game has just been trending since he made that swing coach change, he's been out here with a lot of top 5, top 10 finishes on live.
Yeah, he's been hitting like those fairway bunker shots to the pin. Like we know he can do it. Obviously, one of the best short games ever. And also, I picked him. And the Reapers are on fire. They're winning every event now. And with Lucas and Cam Smith, it's hard to go wrong. Even Travis Smile is playing well.
Yeah, he was replacing Elvis Smiley. And you also agree with me here that you like Lucas Herbert and Cam Smith. And yes, Rippers has been tearing it up. It's too bad that they're, as we heard from Chris, there's not likely going to be a team title, so we don't know who is better this year between Ripper and what.
I mean, maybe the team title it happens. You never know.
Yeah,
They're having a meeting today at Bedminster, so maybe
yeah,
they
we'll
come
see.
up with something on their sleeve.
But I want to know.
And
I want to know Ripper GC or four ace or the four aces. You know.
it has to be Reaper GC. At the beginning of the year, I was maybe dubious on Reaper, but man, they proved me wrong. They even beat the Four Aces, who looked so strong. I'm also rooting for Abe Answer's team, Torque. He's my guy this week after having a strong showing last week in England. So I'm going with Dave now.
Viva Mexico. There we go.
Vamos, Tijuana, Tamaulipas.
There we go. There we go. Vamos, Mexico, Abraham Answer, Lucas Herbert, Cam Smith, John Rahm. Those are our picks for live. Let's go over to the PGA Tour, and the betting favorite this week is the defending champion at the Wyndham. This is when we kind of were welcomed back into Cam Young land, starting at this time last year, where he just started rattling off wins earlier this year on the PGA Tour. He is the betting favorite at plus 850. And then here we go with Jackson Koiven. Every event that he started this year, he's been at least one of the favorites. Last week it was the third best odds. This week it's the second best odds. And then a top 5 finish last week for Hideki Matsuyama. He's also one of the betting favorites as well, the third best odds.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of my picks there. I'm not surprised. I mean, the fact that Jackson is already the second best betting favorite is just, it blows my mind. Like, he's so young. He's new to the game. Like, come on. How is he the favorite?
Yeah, top set. Like we said, he, because of that 3M win, he is in the top 70 in that last spot to make the FedEx Cup playoffs. But if he holds on to the spot, I think he really just has to make the cut. But if he misses the cut, though, there's been some discussion because he won't be in the playoff field. Like, should he still be picked for President's Cup, or what do we think about that? Like, does he need to make the playoffs
Yeah,
to
I
be
think he needs to
considered?
make the cut.
Yeah.
For the President's Cup, I think he needs to make the cut, but I don't think. I mean, he's the second best favorite. He's not thinking about making the cut. He's thinking about winning again.
Yeah. I mean, third star on the PGA Tour, he already won. I mean, just crazy. But let's make.
He's going back to form, and a great time for the President's Cup too.
Yeah. Well, maybe see a little resurgence here from the international team with the U.S. dominance. But when we get closer to that, we'll talk more about President's Cup. Let's get into our picks for the PGA. And I know we agree on Cam Young and Blades Brown. Blades, as we know, he's looking like he's locked up his PGA Tour card, sitting 9th in the Korn Ferry standings. But let's just get done this weekend, Fernando. Let's just have him win at the Wyndham, and then he's already on the PGA Tour. So let's just have this happen and get it done this week. Don't even have to worry about the Korn Ferry Tour. I know he's been prioritizing the Korn Ferry Tour and trying to get good status on there. But let's get it done this weekend. And I've been riding the Ryan Gerard train. He has been Mr. Top 10 for like this whole season. If he's he's finishing in the top 10, like I don't even know how many events. I should have looked it up to be a better host here, but he was T10 last week, T10 the week before that. At the Open, he was T6. So I'm gonna keep Ryan the Ryan Gerard train this week.
Yeah, Ryan has truly amazed everybody this year. Really out of nowhere. Like I didn't even heard of him, and this year he's one of the top players for sure. And Cam Young, we knew it was just about time that he get all the pieces together to be the favorite now. Looks like a top 5 player in the world every time he tees it up, and he looks like way more calm, way more relaxed, and maybe playing smarter, like not so aggressive. And his caddy is one of the best. Like he's one of the best green readers in the world. His caddy, man, it's amazing. I wish I had him in the back because that makes such a difference. Like you can hit like your iron shots to like 10 or 15 feet on every hole, but if you don't read the putt well, like you're not gonna make anything. And obviously Blades also had a great strategy, very clever to play the last week on the Korn Ferry Tour since he already knew the course. He knew he could win. He almost won. He was one shot away from the playoff, and like you said, like now it's his last chance this year on the PGA Tour, but he's gonna be there next year anyway, so he's probably gonna go all out mentality and just fire every pin.
Yeah, let's get it done this week, Blades. We're rooting for you because you also picked him and Cam Young to win this week. So we're on the Cam Young Blades Brown train, and you also you picked now Jackson Coiven 2 weeks in a row now.
Man, why not? Like I would pick him every week. I mean, even if Blades wins this week, like why not pick both on the President's Cup, both Blades and Jackson?
Yeah, he already knows Brent Schnedeker a little bit because Schnedeker's from Tennessee, just like Blades. He knows Brent a little bit. So hey, let's do it. You need to get some of these more. We need to see younger guys in these events like Ryder
Exactly,
Cup
especially
and
these
President's
guys.
Cup.
Like they're just out of this world.
Yeah, we need to see it. We need to see Jackson Coiven get on the team. We need to see Blaze Brown win and get on the team as well. And then I'll be locked into President's Cup, and we can finally see some of these young faces in the game out there. A little tired of like the Justin Thomas pick. What has he done for me in the last like couple of years? Nothing. So let's like move on from the Justin Thomas picks and like put a Blades Brown or Jackson Coiven in there.
Yeah, or even Barant maybe should pick himself too. Like he won this year.
Yeah. Well, Keegan Bradley didn't do it, so I don't think he will either. So, but
Yeah, I think he should. I think Keegan should have picked himself too.
that's going to be an argument that we'll talk about for decades and decades that he should have put himself on that team.
I hope he makes the playoff at least.
Yeah. Well, we had a great conversation with Chris about LIV and covering the Rocket Classic, Michael Thorbjornsen, what he heard about the team competition, the future of LIV, and we have LIV this week, individual title on the line for John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau, who will win there. Will Cam Young defend his title at the Wyndham? Will we see Blades Brown win? Will Jackson Coiven win? Who will make the top 70? It is an exciting time in golf as we head into the postseason and the final events for a lot of the events on tour before we get into the fall series. And we'll be here for it all. If you enjoyed this episode, tuning in for the first time, make sure you subscribe for weekly episodes and content here on the Cousins Conversations YouTube channel and Tap and Eagle. Go back and watch some of the interviews from the Western Am. I talked to Miles Russell. I talked to the winner, Jay Lang. I talked to Tommy Morrison, who's the best player on the Korn Ferry right now, Blades Brown. So go check out all the content that we have going here on the Cousins Conversations YouTube channel and Tap and Eagle. And we're not just podcasters anymore, Fernando. We're out here covering events. So we are now considered, we are rolling.
We're having awesome people just like Chris. We should have him on another time and be on his show because he's the best.
Yes. And we have some exciting guests lined up for some future episodes here coming up. Chris was a great guest. We always have
Peter
great guests
coming next week too.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Peter before we head out.
We're having next week the guy who plays with no ball. I mean, it's just like a drill, but he kind of made it into a thing. He actually wrote a book about it, and I'm gonna go try it right now and see where it leads me.
Excited to talk with him next week, and he can promote. I saw he has like a book out too as well, so we can talk to him about that. A lot of exciting things going forward, and also in the works, we got another interview with somebody we might have mentioned on the show in the works, an interview possibly coming up here in the next couple of weeks with a name we already mentioned. I don't want to say it because we like to call it a tease, so I won't say who it is, but just look forward
It's
look
big.
forward to that. Look
It's
forward to
big.
that. It's big. It's big.
You can
Look.
get it free with a long way.
Yeah, yeah. I think we already know who we're talking about, but you might have to go back to where we talked about that to know exactly what we're talking about. Unless you already know, you be in the cool kids club and know who we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, like we said, we don't just have our podcast episodes every week now. We're out covering tournaments. We give our takes on things going on throughout the golf world, and big following the last couple of weeks here. Big episodes, a lot of viewers, a lot of new subscribers. So let's keep the growth of the channel going. Hit that subscribe button for us. Come back with us here every week. We love our fans. We love everybody that tunes in every week. So, Fernando, we thank everybody for tuning in every week.
Thanks, everybody. Have fun.
All right, have a great week, everybody. See you right back here next week. We'll be talking FedEx Cup playoffs and who wins the individual championship for LIV. That'll all play out this weekend. We'll see you then.
Let's enjoy it.